Welcome to Her Life Matters, where we tell the stories of Black women whose lives were tragically cut short, often forgotten or ignored by the media. Black women are victims of femicide at alarmingly high rates, killed every 5.5 hours in the United States. Here we honor their lives, speak their truths, and bring awareness to the violence that disproportionately impacts our community. These are not just stories. They are urgent calls for change. Every Black woman's life matters, and their stories must be heard. All right, let's dive into this story in a way that grips you, that pulls you in and makes you feel everything. The fear, the heartbreak, the anger, the injustice. Sierra O'Neal's story deserves to be told with all the emotion, all the pain, and all the raw reality. So let's talk about Sierra O'Neal. It's New Year's Eve 2024. A night filled with promise, right? A night where we're all thinking about new beginnings, about leaving the past behind. For most people, it's a night for resolutions and champagne, celebrations and countdowns. But for Sierra O'Neal, it was the night she lost her life. Now, before we get into the nightmare that went down that night, let me paint you a picture of who Sierra was, because she wasn't just some random person you hear about on the news. Sierra was somebody. She mattered. She was a mother, a daughter, a friend. She had dreams and plans, just like the rest of us. Sierra was 28 years old. She was a Black woman living in a world where being a Black woman means you're constantly navigating between being strong and vulnerable, between surviving and thriving. That's the reality for so many of us. But Sierra, she was tough. She was vibrant. She had 2 kids that she adored, and she wanted to build something better for them. Sierra wasn't one of those women who would settle for less. She fought for what she wanted. But like so many women, like so many of us, Sierra had found herself stuck in a toxic situation she was struggling to escape. She had an ex, and let's be real for a second. Relationships, especially toxic ones, don't just end cleanly. There's history, there's pain, and sometimes there's lingering danger. Sierra had moved on, or at least she was trying to. But the thing about toxic people, they don't just let you go. They haunt you. They follow you, even when you're doing everything to leave them behind. And that's where Sierra's story takes a dark turn. The love triangle, a volatile situation. Sierra wasn't just dealing with any ex. This was the kind of situation where emotions run high, where jealousy and anger fester. Her ex had a new girlfriend now, and you know how these things go. Jealousy, insecurity, all that drama starts bubbling beneath the surface. It's toxic, and it's dangerous. But Sierra wasn't about that life anymore. She had moved on. She was focused on her kids, her life, trying to build something better. She didn't want the drama. She didn't want the conflict. But that's the thing about toxic relationships. They don't care what you want. And on the night of December 31st, 2024, all of that pent-up anger and jealousy exploded. New Year's Eve, the confrontation. It was late, early morning actually, New Year's Eve turning into New Year's Day. Sierra was at the Reserve at Hollywood Apartments in Northwest Atlanta. Nothing fancy, but this was where it all went down. There was a confrontation, a showdown between Sierra and her ex's new girlfriend. Now, I want you to imagine this moment. The tension is thick, emotions are running high. You can almost feel it in the air. Something is about to snap. Sierra and this other woman, they're arguing, and it's not just about words anymore. It's about pride, jealousy, insecurity, all the emotions that can turn deadly when they're not controlled. And then it happens. The other woman, feeling cornered, feeling like she's got something to prove, pulls out a gun. Sierra is shot in the head, just like that. In the blink of an eye, Sierra's life is over. And for what? Jealousy? Anger? Toxicity that should have never reached this point? Imagine the horror of that moment. 1 minute you're standing there, alive, breathing, your heart beating. And the next, gone. Sierra's body collapses, blood pouring from her head. She didn't stand a chance. And for her family, for her children, this was the moment that shattered their world forever. The aftermath. Self-defense or murder? Here's where the case took a decisive turn. The new girlfriend, the shooter, called 911 right after the incident. She didn't run. When the police arrived, she claimed it was self-defense. And after looking at the facts, the authorities started considering that it might be justifiable homicide. Sierra had gone to the woman's home, angry and ready to confront her over a relationship dispute. The situation escalated fast, and the new girlfriend felt threatened. She had the right to defend herself, and that's exactly what she did. The police saw it as a situation where Sierra's actions put the shooter in a position where she had to protect herself. For Sierra's family, it's still devastating to lose her, but the fact remains that emotions ran high, and she made a choice that led to this confrontation. The system saw this for what it was, an unfortunate but justified act of self-defense. This story serves as a harsh reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control when conflicts are unresolved. This is the part that hits home for so many Black women. The world constantly devalues us. Our pain, our lives, are so often minimized. We see it over and over again. How often do we hear this? How often are our stories reduced, our deaths somehow explained away, leaving our families in grief with no real justice? But Sierra's life, it mattered. Her story matters. And it's up to us to ensure the world never forgets that.
Community frustrated.
Police say this may be some sort of a love triangle. Fox 5's Kevin Stewart is live in Northwest Atlanta at the APD Police Annex with the details coming in tonight. Kevin?
Courtney, I can tell you right now that the name of the victim still has not been released. I can tell you that Atlanta police, they showed up at the scene after 8 o'clock this morning, and at this hour, they're still calling this a death investigation.
On Hollywood Road, tears flow for a young life lost. A mother gunned down at the Reserve at Hollywood Apartments in the Scotts Crossing neighborhood. Here is where Atlanta police say a domestic dispute went too far, involving 3 people, 1 man and 2 women. The alleged gunman, one of the women, described by police as the new girlfriend. The victim described as the former girlfriend. APD says she was only 28 years old. The suspect, along with the boyfriend, who was a witness, were taken to APD headquarters for questioning.
And because this is still just a death investigation, obviously no one has been charged. We will continue to follow the story, but for now we're live in Northwest Atlanta. Kevin Stewart.
Thank you for watching this episode of Her Life Matters. These stories are a reminder of the urgency to protect and uplift Black women everywhere. By sharing their lives and their voices, we honor their legacy and bring awareness to the violence that impacts our community. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can keep these stories alive, fight for justice, and demand change. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, stay safe.